hope what I did made sense and helps in any way. Okay, that's Coach Beck asked me to come in and try to do that. I hope I accomplish my task, my goal, my expectation. Even if it's every once in a while, you think about it, you talk about it, or maybe you talk about it with the team every single day. Give it 100%, how to rebound, all the little things, all the little talking. I would love to get texts from him saying, hey, this team did this, and this. And he's been keeping me updated. I saw some of your bio that you did with this team, and I see his Facebook page. Although I don't have Facebook anymore. I got a new phone, and I just got rid of that stuff. So he asked me to talk about confidence. Okay, you guys are at a very unique stage in your lives about confidence all over the place, not just with basketball. Yourself, you're figuring yourself out, who you are, who you want to be. You're figuring your friends out, who they are, who they want to be. You're separating from those. I mean, you're building relationships, friends, everything else. It's a very busy time. I think if you asked any guy in this gym, would you like to be in 8th or 9th grade again? Knowing what we know now, we would love to go back and be able to do that. You guys are just starting out on a terrific journey. Okay, and the fact that you're involved in sports, there's so much to be learned and so much to be gained from sports besides trophies. But don't get me wrong, a district championship, a state championship, it's awesome. Okay, it's awesome. And I've been able to coach kids that way. I've been able to watch my own kids attain those goals, so it's pretty good. So, confidence. I came into this gym with a different voice, a different expectation than what you were. Some kids, when I do this, and I've been asked to do that before, get intimidated right away. Like you see them, when I get loud and I start to say things, you can see they're kind of shying away. If I'm giving them instructions and I'm like this, they don't hear a word they say. All they see is this, okay? Because they've lost their confidence in themselves. So, Coach asked me to talk about this and what you can do to maintain your confidence. And this is what I came up with, Coach. Can you come here? Sure. He asked me, give me the key to confidence. So, literally and figuratively, I'm going to give you the key to confidence. Right there. Okay, if that's symbolic, just hold it out in your hand. Okay, that's Coach Beck's confidence. This key right here is his confidence. I just took it away, didn't I? Okay, Coach, this is your confidence. Okay, you're right there. Don't let me take that key away. Right? Derek, you gotta close the block. You're being slow out there. Because that, if you heard me say that in volleyball, would that destroy your confidence? No, because he knows that he's a good blocker. The only person that can steal your confidence from you is you. That's it. You're the one, like he did, he gave it up to me. He didn't know, but he just gave it up to me. But when I said, hey, don't let me take your confidence, he didn't let me do that. So don't tell me that a coach is destroying your confidence. You gave it to him. You have the power. You gotta understand that. Don't tell me your best friend stole your confidence. Don't tell me your girlfriend or your mom and dad took your confidence. That's letting yourself down. Understand, and you have to take responsibility for that, lost your confidence. And you have to gain it back. Or, here's the key, and what's so exciting about right now, you right now can learn how to build confidence. You have to learn how to build it. It's not, look, I can't give you one magical phrase and go bippity-boppity confidence and everybody's going to walk out of this gym confident. It's not going to happen. It has to be built like a house. It has to start with the fundamentals and foundation. It's got to build its way up till it becomes solid and becomes strong. And you can't let somebody take it away from you. Don't tell me, don't tell your coach that you're working with right now or anybody else, mom or dad, that, hey, look, I made a mistake on the floor and the coach yelled at me. Suck it up, Buttercup. That's my generation. But if you're holding that confidence, they're not going to let that affect you. When I yelled at Derek, you got to close the block. He knows to listen to what I'm saying, not how I'm saying it. That he knows, and he built this relationship with you. I've heard him say it 3 or 4 times. He loves you guys. If he yells at you on the floor to box out better, he's not being mean to you. He's yelling at you, but he wants you to do what you need to do to be better. Maybe to attract a scout. Understand? You can't let someone steal your confidence. So how do you build confidence? Okay, from a young age, look, it's not easy. Okay, it's not easy. If it was easy, everybody would have it, right? It's not easy. Same thing competing on the floor. Okay, if it was easy, everybody'd be doing it. But you probably had cuts, and you've seen cuts, and kids don't make the cut. So the first thing that I would say that you have to build your confidence, I call it SIE, a strength. You guys are at the point right now that you can start to lift. Okay, now here's the thing. It's real important. You can't get crazy or get some half-baked idiot who's going to have you do 500-pound squats and tell you that you're going to get better. You need to find a trained individual that understands adolescence, where you guys are right now, your bodies are changing tremendously right now, your joints, your muscles, and everything else. You have to have somebody that's really smart that can bring you along and train you to get to here, not start here. You're going to meet a lot of idiots out there, and you need to identify them right away. Okay, if it doesn't feel right, it ain't right. It ain't right. You have to work your way up to that. So strength. Okay, looking at all of you, okay, yeah, I wouldn't say anybody in here is weak, but could you be stronger? Oh yeah. And again, start with body weight. Do you remember plyometrics? Okay, plyometrics is jumping better. Plyometrics also includes your quickness, your overall speed, and how fast you change directions. Okay, so you could start to lift. Okay, you could find a trainer. Okay, you could start doing your own plyometrics. Okay, coaches can find that for you. But here's a question that has bugged me eternally for forever. The kid who comes up to me and says, "Coach, what do I need to do to get better?" That's why you're not any good. You can't tell me in today's age that you can't go home, let's say you want to work on your ball handling skills. You can't go on YouTube or something else like that. Top 10 ball handling drills. And you couldn't figure that out? That's the initiative. That comes from you. That's not blaming somebody else nobody told me. If you want to be a good dribbler, you can find it, correct? You want to be a better shooter, you can do it, but then you also have to go out and do it. And it can't be halfway. It can't be the transition drill where you're jogging. You have to commit to that. So you have to build strength. You definitely have to do that. And then the second part of the S is the skill part. Okay, you have to work at it. Look, I love to play golf right now. My age, golfing's where I'm at. Okay, and I understand that, but I can still do that. I just retired. I would have loved to have more chance to practice golf, but job, family, and all that stuff. Now I have time. I've decreased my game by 10 strokes. But my carpet in my house has little chipping things all over it. I have a putting green downstairs. I work at it all the time. That was just me, and I try to pass that on to the players on my team. If I want to get better at something, and again, I just became a golf coach. When I first started, I wasn't quite sure. I went back to the basics. How do you hold a golf club? Guess what? I was holding it wrong. And I learned from the information is out there. If you want to go get it, if you're that type of person, it's out there, but then you have to do it. Okay? The other I part is the IQ. Okay? I'm going to go in two different directions with IQ. Number one, and the most important thing is your classroom. You have to get good grades. Guess what? The best athletes get good grades. They know how to manage their time. They know how to be successful, and they look at a test like a competition. At least that's what I looked at it. This teacher's playing me one-on-one. Let's go. Okay, but I prepared for it. I studied for it. I attended class. I did what I was supposed to do to be prepared, the same way you're doing on the court right now. And I'll bet you every one of you knows somebody who's not real good in the academics that's trying to play sports, and the only reason they're not good is because they don't try. That's going to show up on the court at some time, at the very worst time. That ball that I talked about earlier that's going out of bounds. That'll be the kid that would have stood there, instead of sprinting over there, and could have scooped up the ball for the team. They were lazy, and they didn't go. Or they weren't smart enough to identify the fact that I have to do that every single time. You need to take care. If you'd like to play at the next level, you know about you guys know what the clearinghouse is? Yeah, you get there. You have to enter the NCAA clearinghouse, which means your grades have to be on par for coaches even to talk to you. You can't have D's. First of all, what coach is going to want to take a player that has D's? How are they going to run a playbook? And again, when you get to the college level, you think you have a lot now. Hey, wait till you see what's expected then. Lightning fast. You got to be smart. So if you're not a good student right now, figure out how to be one. Hey, I went through high school, never took it's a terrible story, never took a book home. I never studied. I could just sit there in class, pay attention, and I can go through it. Then I went to college. And all of a sudden it was like, and I figured it out. I didn't fail out of college. I maintained good grades, but I worked really hard and I figured out how to do it. You got to be able to do that. So that's your IQ. Don't let that slip. Any coach that blows smoke up your ass about coming to this school or that school, first of all, find out what major you'd like to pursue and find out if it has a good reputation. And ask the other players on the team when you go for your visit, hey, is the coach concerned about grades or is he going to play whoever he wants to play? And then go to the coach that's going to take care of both parts of your life. Because after sports is over, real life starts. And all the lessons that you learn in sports will make you successful on the next step. Okay, that's a lot for ninth grade. I get that. But IQ on the court. Okay? Watch other games. I asked you to watch the Final Four. When you watch a game, do you just watch it? Oh, look at that dunker. Do you watch what they run? Do you watch the defense? Do you watch how teams help? Okay, do you watch matchups and figure out why is that coach running this person, those matchups? Because. So when the coach gives you a game plan, hey, look, we're going to play a matchup zone tonight. Okay, this team is not very deadly from the outside. We can switch all the picks, we can keep our bigs in, and we can play a matchup zone and take away their strength of going inside. And as a player then, you should be, hey, coach, that's it, and you buy in. Now you're playing the matchup zone not because the coach told you, because you know you can win if you do it. It gives you your best shot. So you have to have a basketball IQ, when to do certain things, when to pass. You know, the golden rule is if you're coming down in transition, you pass the foul line, you better get to the rim. Otherwise, you should have passed to the rim. It means you're dribbling way too much, right? You got to get there. But a basketball, when should you cut back door? Or you just see somebody saying, oh, they got me, you know? Or they cut back door. When to do things. Okay, that's your basketball IQ that you absolutely have to have. Okay? And the last part, the E, might be the most important. You got to execute. I've seen kids, I'm going to do this, I'm going to go lift. And then I'm going to play basketball every single day. And within 2 days, they're not lifting, and they're not playing. You got to execute your plan. You got to make that plan. Okay? Skills, strength, IQ, execute. Okay? None of those things are groundbreaking. You have to do them. You have to. Or you end up mediocre. You may be so good because physically you're all right, but you need to put all those three things together that when you walk on the floor then and a coach yells at you, you can say, you know what? Own up to it. This is something this generation I think needs to learn, and I hate to be the old man, I just turned into my dad, needs to own up to that you made the mistake. If you went home and told your dad, I got pulled out of the game because I made one mistake, you made a mistake. You made a mistake. So he pulled you out. So maybe that coach is trying to teach you, hey, that you have to perform when you're on the floor. You might not understand it, hey, but maybe he's looking for the guy when it's 5 seconds left on the clock and he's got a timeout, he needs to put 5 players on the floor. He's not going to take the kid who makes the mistake. He's going to put the other kid in there because he earned that time. The good part about it is if you have confidence and you made a mistake and he pulled you out, you damn well know he's got to put you back in because you're better than the kid he just put in. That's confidence. And that only comes by building the confidence and having, so anything that, you're going to fail. You are going, my daughter played, went Gatorade Player of the Year, played Division I, won a national championship, went as far as you could possibly go with that. She got pulled out of a match. She got pulled out of a match. Now, my wife, meltdown. Oh, what's going to happen? And I just sat there and I was looking to watch her reaction. Okay, you were talking Division I, we're talking about the top of the top. And the kid who was Gatorade Player was all everything around here, which was great, just got pulled out of the match. And then put at the end of the bench. So I watched her. And she just stood there like this the whole time. She stood, and she stood, and she stood. And within, I don't know, maybe half a set or something like that, she went back in and she played really well. So again, match ends, they win. My wife's in a dead sprint coming down to make sure Kelly's okay. And I'm like, I'm trying to grab her, I couldn't do it. So she walked up, are you okay? And she said, yeah, I'm fine. But you got pulled out of the game. She goes, I made some mistakes, I wasn't playing well. She accepted the fact that she wasn't playing well. I'm on the other side, my heart's going, oh my God, I love this kid, I love this kid, I love this kid. And the thing that she followed up was, she said, I knew they had to go back to me because I was better than the player they put in. That's where I got that story when I started. And that's confidence. That didn't shake her. That coach didn't take her confidence on a big stage. But I'll tell you what she got in trouble for after that. And this is a great lesson to learn for teams too. After it was over and they won the match and she came back and she played really, she got pulled in the office by the coach. And she said, and this is what I found out later after we had talked to her. Coach said, I'm really disappointed in you. And Kelly, Kelly's huge heart. She's probably going to start to cry when the coach said she's disappointed in what she's done. And here's what the coaches told her. You stood on the sideline, didn't cheer one time for the person that went in or your teammates. You made that all about yourself. Oh, woe is me. Right? I got pulled out of the game, so therefore I'm here and everybody else is there. Everybody look at me. Or that athlete that walks off the floor, look at me, look at me, look at me. You know what she told the coach that turned the coach on a dime? Coach, I wasn't. She goes, first of all, she apologized. She said, you're right. I should have done that. She said, I was more disappointed in myself. And that coach told her to learn a lesson that there's still players out there on the floor that are cheering for you when you're out there. If you stand there like this and don't say a word, even if it's because you're upset at yourself for not playing, you're being selfish. When a player on your team scores, 8, 10 points in a row, if you're on the other side of the floor going, oh man, that kid's getting his, I wish I could shoot, you're not a good teammate. What you should be saying, hey, he's on fire, give him the ball. Because guess what? The next game, it might be your matchup that you're scoring. How would you like it if your buddy's not setting good screens for you because you think he's getting his? When you start thinking that way, then you're talking about individuals. You're not talking about a team. Play tennis, play golf. But if you want a cohesive team, if somebody is getting theirs because they're up and down the floor and they're scoring, give them the frickin' ball and win. Because the next game, it might be your turn. And even if he scores 40 points in a game, you might be down by 1, and because you stayed in the game, you might hit the game winner. So between him and you've won the game. Because in the end, the only thing that goes up on the walls are the championships, not the individual games that you won. Nobody remembers that, but they remember great teams. And if you can bond that way, you guys that are sitting here maybe could be this age at some point, talking in the gym about the great experience that you had because of lessons that you learned when you were younger. Do not let somebody take your confidence. But you have to build it. You can't be a faker. You can't be a wannabe. Okay, those are the people that lose their confidence right away. Make a plan. Okay, you're doing this. Okay, it's my last message, and I promise that I'll stop. You need to be somebody. Okay, you need to be somebody. Okay, because right now somebody already took more shots than you did today preparing for basketball. Somebody already lifted more than you did today to prepare for basketball. Somebody went home after practice and shot and dribbled more than you did today. Somebody did that. You guys know what I'm going to say? Be somebody. Got it? Be that person. And I'll help you in basketball and life.
4 claps. Coach, they have access to Huddle. Thanks to the parents and everyone chipping in. We have